What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you the Cool Girl wave. Easy, relaxed, undone waves in just a few simple steps. Make sure you like and subscribe this video and let's get into it. Alright guys, step one is all about prep. If you know anything about the type of hair I do, I use a lot of product. I'm going to use two products today and cocktail them. So first of all, we're going to use Razor Root. This is an alcohol-free volumizing spray which gives the hair loads of volume. So I'm going to spritz that throughout the whole root area. And then my go-to. Anyone that knows me knows I love and swear by the Colorwell Dream Coat. This is going to go on the mid-lengths and ends. It's going to give me a beautiful textures of the hair. It's going to give me a waterproof resistant finish. I think it's really important when you're styling hair to make sure I have a great foundation. So that's how I like to start. When I'm applying this product, I'm just splitting the hair using my fingers, using like a couple of inches as a guideline, but honestly, you just want to make sure you get it all through the root. You'll notice I'm not putting the volumizing spray throughout the ends because we want the ends nice and light, and that's why we're going to put the Dream Coat for a nice amount of shine and control. Okay, and now the Dream Coat. So the Dream Coat's going to go from basically the root area all the way to the mid-lengths and ends. And the key to this product is making sure you saturate the hair in it. It's as light as water, but you need to make sure each strand of hair has the product in it, so you get the technology throughout the whole head of hair. Okay, now we're going to dry the hair. I'm not going to waste my time blow drying the hair section by section. We're just going to literally blast the head off. Now the hair's dry, I'm going to show you a little trick that I like to use. Just take the front section, once we've blasted the hair off, just take that whole front section, grab a round brush and just blow dry the front section without a part. This is the face framing part, so it needs to look the best. So the rest of the hair can be blasted off, but if you get this face framing right, it will set off the whole hairstyle. So we're just going to pull the hair forward, wrap the brush back on itself and let it set into place. Okay, so then when you take the brush out, you should get a nice amount of volume at the front and you get those face framing kind of curtain bangs, which is always nice and sets the hairstyle off. Now we're going to put the wave in. So we're going to take sections of hair. I'm just going to lift up some of this top section, just loosely clip it away. And I'm going to show you how to create the perfect bend into the hair. Okay, taking an 1.5 inch section, that's enough to wrap around the curling iron, so we don't want any more. I'm going to use the Cool Favorite hairspray. It's one of my go-to hairsprays just for hold. And then we're going to use the Babyliss curling iron. This is the Nano Titanium curling iron. This is the secret to a good wave. We're going to keep the hair flat. We're going to open the curling iron and we're going to wrap up and twist the hair around the curling iron and just leave those ends out. Leave it to sit for sort of 10 to 15 seconds or until the hair feels hot to touch. And then when you take it out, you should get something that looks like this. When the hair's hot, what you want to do is just pull down on it just so you can stretch the curl out and get a slight more of a wave than a perfect curl. Remember, leaving those ends out makes it look a little bit more undone, so when we come to shaking the hair out later, you'll have a great amount of texture. Okay, so another little tip when you're creating this look is to keep the roots nice and flat. So we don't really want any volume at the roots particularly. We want to keep it kind of flat there. So I'm actually just going to concentrate towards the mid-lengths and ends. Now once you put it in, if you want to, I would just rock the curling iron backwards and forwards. The reason you do this is just so you don't get too much of a formed curl and you get more of a wave. That's about as much as a wave as you want. So at this point, continue all the way up to your part. We're working with a middle part today. I like the middle part with this style. I think it looks effortless. And the key part about this style is the front section. What you need to do with the front section, and this is a mistake I see so many girls make, is you need to make sure you curl this away from your face. By that, you wouldn't curl the hair wrapping into it, you would always curl the hair backwards and away from the face. It's so much more flattering when you move, when you walk, when you keep the face open. You don't want to curl it into the face because as the hair sits and it will cover your cheekbone and kind of cover your eye line, which is always, you know, the bit that stands out. So, keeping the hair flat at the root again, we're going to open the curling iron and we're going to wrap the hair away from the face. If you can take one thing from this tutorial, it's this, to make sure this section of hair wraps away from the face. Okay, so we're just repeating the same on the opposite side. Okay guys, so now we've curled the whole head of hair, or should I say waved. This is the fun part. This is where we get to mess it up. Now, most girls get really afraid at this part to actually kind of mess up all their hard work of waving it. This is the key to that cool girl look. So we're gonna use the Style on Steroids. Style on Steroids is a texturizing spray, which gives you that kind of undone, sexy vibe, gives you loads of volume, so if your hair's fine and tends to drop, it's great. I like to lift it up at the roots, put it in the roots, and then shake it out towards the mid-lengths and ends. So before we do any shaking out, I'm just gonna lift the hair up, and I'm just gonna put this product all through the kind of mid-lengths and ends. And you'll instantly start to feel that it gives the hair body and guts. So I'm gonna get that in first. So I like to kind of get the product in there, almost give it a bit of a massage at the root, and then just using my hands, start to shake it out. At this point, you definitely wouldn't brush the hair. You don't need to, so just kind of let the product start doing its work. And then for the ends, I like to use the Pop and Lock gloss. So I just use a couple of pumps of this, just on the mid-lengths and ends, just to kind of give the hair a little bit of love, because although we want an undone look, we still want it to look healthy and shiny. So I'm just gonna grab all of the ends together and then kind of just rub it in, just so those ends have a little bit more of a polished finish. And then you should get something that looks a bit like this kind of undone look. And then what you want to do as well is just make sure you can put your fingers through and, you know, kind of just define the hair as you go through. And then I like to just literally use a little bit more of the Cool Favorite spray. And what I do now is a little trick. I like to spray it on my hands, and I'll just kind of rub it together and then just kind of squeeze those ends together and just shake it out a little bit. This style should be fun, it should be careless, you should be able to like move it around from side to side. The idea of this sexy undone look is you just kind of wake up the next day and it still looks great. If you want a bit more volume in the crown, just kind of pinch it, but make sure you get those face framing kind of bits at the front, because for me that's kind of what sets the look off. So make sure that kind of forehead is closed and you get those nice face framing waves. Okay guys, so there you have it, undone waves. It's the cool girl look, never goes out of fashion. All you need to do is follow those few techniques and make sure you get in there with the product. And I guess most of all, have fun, try it out. And then after, don't be afraid to get in there and mess it up, because for me, that's when the magic comes in, when you kind of get in there. But it takes all that foundation work to be able to mess it up and it still stay in place. Hope you guys liked the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.